Hello. Australian stem cell therapy developer Mesoblast has struck a deal with the New York-based Angioblast Systems, which will see the pair pool their work on mesenchymal precursor cells. Mesoblast will swap its shares for the 67% of Angioblast it doesn't already own. The acquisition gives Mesoblast a wider range of products and more mature programs that are closer to conclusions and revenues. Mesoblast estimates that angioblast therapies could generate $500 million a year. Angioblast's lead program relies on mesenchymal precursor cells to rev up umbilical cord blood used in bone marrow transplants for leukemia patients. Another of its therapies, Revascor, restores cardiovascular muscles in heart attack victims. Well, joining me to talk about the deal is Pharma Ventures Senior Director Adrian Dawkes. Adrian, these two companies aren't really on the radar that we know of. What do we know about them?
Well, you're right, Paul. There's not a great deal known about them. They are small companies. One's an Australian company, one's a US company. But like a lot of people operating in this area, it's an evolving, emerging area, and so the companies tend to be small. They're biotech companies. They've got to establish themselves. So, yeah, it's no surprise that they're not a lot's known, but clearly they're emerging now and the story's getting bigger.
Now, stem cells are sort of seen as the way forward for a number of diseases. These two are specifically targeting leukemia. Is this deal, can it be seen as an endorsement of this type of technology?
Well, in a way, yes. A lot of small companies are coming together in order to consolidate and get the best out of their technologies. They've got a number of target areas, and you're right, leukemia is one of them. I guess we could sort of liken this to the early days of monoclonal antibodies back in the 70s when everybody thought they were going to be the magic bullet and the cure-all for diseases. And it's really taken until the last few years for those therapies to become established and become blockbuster drugs like Genentech, sorry, and Avastin and the drugs there that they're using, and now they're established blockbuster drugs. Everybody thinks monoclonal antibodies are great. Stem cells could well go the same way.
Okay, but it's still quite a difficult area to work within.
Again, yeah, absolutely, and monoclonals were the same when they first came out. Genzyme, for example, ran a trial with mesenchymal stem cells, which are the same sort of type of cell that these guys appear to be using, and that was run in graft versus host disease and ulcerative colitis, and because these cells are seen as having regenerative capabilities, and both of those trials failed. Now, was that an indicative that the technology is tough or didn't work? The story after that was, well, the trials weren't brilliantly designed, or there were some flaws in the trial design, and therefore they didn't get the endpoints quite right. That's always a problem when you've got a sort of brand new technology going into trials where it's never been done before. How do you design a trial to show something that you're not quite sure what it's going to show you? So it's an evolving area, and I think we'll see some more interesting things coming out of this.
Okay, Adrian, thanks very much for joining me.
Pleasure, Paul.